After the emergency session, the senior ambassadors met in closed consultation. 48 representatives of the galaxy's military powers, in a room that felt, despite its political weight, slightly like a group of adults who had just agreed to discuss the monster under the bed. The first 30 minutes were spent, very characteristically for the Council, establishing what they did not know. They did not know if humanity still existed. A civilization could fall in 1,000 years. Disease, internal conflict, the slow entropy of isolated systems losing cohesion. There were historical precedents. They did not know if humanity's technology was superior to the Council's current level, equivalent, or inferior. 1,000 years of isolation could go any of three ways. The Skarath general pointed out that 1,000 years was also sufficient time to develop significantly. No one wanted to follow that thought too far. They did not know the current political state, population, military capacity, or disposition of humanity toward the Council. They did not know if humanity had encountered the Vokthari. They did not know if humanity would talk to them. "What do we know?" asked the Mirain senior ambassador, Councillor Yev Than, whose four arms were all currently arranged in the Mirain posture for constructive cataloging, which, his staff knew, was what he did when he felt the situation required the appearance of control. What they knew was contained in three categories. Category 1. What humanity was 1,000 years ago. Bipedal mammals. Unusually adaptable. They had colonized more environment types in the time they were Council members than any civilization in their developmental period. Technologically competent, middling by Council standards of the time, faster than light capable, energy weapons, standard range sensors. In terms of sheer military infrastructure, they had maintained a respectable defensive fleet. They were, per the old assessments, slightly aggressive in first contact situations and significantly aggressive in political ones. They could not be easily intimidated. They did not accept consensus as a substitute for being right. Category 2. What happened at the border 1,000 years ago. 3 Grell scout ships had been sent to investigate the silence after the human withdrawal. None had returned. No distress signals had been sent. No debris had ever been found. The subsequent decision to not investigate further had been recorded in Council minutes as prudential respect for the stated wishes of the withdrawing party. Language that Ambassador Luma had, in her archival research, noted was Council language for "we were scared of what might happen if we tried." Category 3. What they had heard since. Nothing, officially. Unofficially. And here the senior ambassadors became somewhat uncomfortable. There were stories, not verified reports, not intelligence assessments. Stories from frontier traders who operated near the edges of old human space. Tales of ships that had drifted too close to that dark boundary and come back shaken, describing being hailed on standard frequencies by a voice that said simply, "In perfect standard. You are in monitored space. Recommend withdrawal. This is your only advisement." Tales of pirates who had operated near the edge of the human territory for years and then simply stopped operating, with no sign of conflict in the record. The Grell representative, a sharp-eyed elder named Wing Admiral Setha Kra, produced 3 such reports from Grell frontier stations, filed and then immediately reclassified over the past several centuries. They made interesting reading. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If you enjoyed this conversation, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. It genuinely helps the show grow and lets me know what you want more of. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you in the next one.